Good morning, student. 10th class chemistry, chapter 2, part 12th. Nonpolar covalent compound. Continue. The bond formed between dissimilar atom can be nonpolar if their electronegativity difference is little and their structure permits the shared pair of electrons to attract equally the linked atoms, and thus the molecule becomes symmetrical. For example, methane and carbon tetrachloride. The shared electron pair in methane are at equal distance from the carbon and the hydrogen atoms because the two have nearly equal electronegativity. Carbon 2.5 and hydrogen 2.1. In nonpolar, no ion can form as there is a very little difference in the electronegativity. So, both are same type of atoms, and thus we know the example hydrogen molecule, chlorine molecule. So, here there is a no formation of ion in nonpolar covalent compounds. This compound do not ionize in water due to lack of charge separation. So, this is very important point that compound do not ionize in water and thus there is a no formation of charge. Next topic is polar covalent compound. The covalent compounds are said to be polar when the shared pair of electrons are not at equal distance between the two atoms. Here, in polar covalent compound, charge can form, and what is the reason to form the charge in that? Or to create the ions, the shared pair of electrons are not at equal distance between the two atoms. This results in the development of frictional positive and negative charge on them. They ionize in water, for example, hydrogen chloride. So here very important point that these polar covalent compound ionize in water and forms the ion, and which type of ion? Such as a cation and anion, a positive charge and the negative charge. In hydrogen chloride, the strong nuclear charge of the chlorine atom, the electronegativity of chlorine is 3. So chlorine is the high electronegative element, attracts the shared electron pair towards itself. That is, negativity charge shift towards the chlorine atom, thereby developing a slight negative charge. Here this symbol is called as a delta, and here we are using for the shifting of the charge. On it, the hydrogen atom electronegativity is 2.1. So there is a difference in the electronegativity of the chlorine and hydrogen. Develop a slightly positive charge. Therefore, a polar covalent bond is formed. Thus, is shown below. Here we can see an example of hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen atom showing its electron combining with the chlorine atom. Here we can see the electrons of chlorine, 7 electrons in the outermost shell, combining with each other, forming the hydrogen chloride molecule. Now, here there is a formation of the polar covalent compound. We can see there is a slightly positive charge on hydrogen and slightly negative charge on chlorine. Here, because of the shifting of negative charge toward the chlorine, as a chlorine is the high electronegative atom. Other examples of the covalent compound that ionize are water, ammonia, and hydrogen fluoride. Let's see an example. These are the dipole molecules having two charges, positive and negative. First example, water molecule. We know the structure of water molecule, oxygen and the 2 atoms of hydrogen. Now, there is a development of the charge on this molecule. Here, oxygen is the electronegative element, and there is a formation of the slightly negative charge on the oxygen, and hydrogen shifted as a bond shifted and develop the slightly positive charge on the hydrogen. And thus there is a formation of the ion, such as a negative anion and positive cation. And thus they get ionized. Next example is ammonia molecule, that is NH3. In this, nitrogen is in between, bounded by the 3 hydrogen. We can see here there is also a charge developed in ammonia. Nitrogen is the most electronegative element, and here there is a formation of the negative charge, that is the slightly negative charge on nitrogen, and hydrogen shifted, and thus there is a slightly positive charge on hydrogen. So here there is a formation of ion, anion, cation. Third example is hydrogen fluoride molecule. Here you can see there is a shifting of negative charge on fluorine, and hydrogen becomes positive and fluorine becomes more negative. The process by which the covalent compounds are converted into ions is called ionization. Now, practically, how we can make these molecules ionized? By adding water in it.